coming to you with my regular room on Saturday night. We will continue our series on the wellness-oriented health systems I always talk about. Uh, as you know, a brief introduction about me. I'm a physician, practiced for 4 decades in the United States, and had been working with people who are ill, which was our duty. But then I've come to the conclusion that we should be attending to these people much earlier in our daily lives, societies, culture, right? So that's how I came up with finding the roots of the illnesses and changing the lifestyles and helping people to live longer and well, you know. And that worked very well in my individual practice. But as I came out of the individual practice, which I sold in 2019, but I have a small practice ever since, and I have a presence online. So I was trying to bring awareness to the fact that we need to pay attention to uh, how we can be well, how we can really ask for health systems that are really promoting wellness and helping people to be well to begin with. That's how this started, and I made my mission to really work with at least with one or two health systems where I can introduce these wellness principles, which I'm teaching and practicing every day. And I have a wellness club where people come and join me, and I kind of work with them and give them pointers about lifestyles that can be oriented toward wellness, and hopefully that can lead into the other health systems, other hospitals and clinics that can take up these practices and be implementing them so that the general public will be more and more oriented to us. You may say, are these not available? Yeah, they are available, but how many people are really implementing them? That's the thing. How many people are really controlling their diet and be aware of the processed food that is around them? How many people are really having a good, robust exercise program that they can do, even just to walk a little bit? And how many people are responding before they get ill and they're health conscious? That's why I come and talk about this so that people can understand what I'm talking about, and they will be taking interest in their own health. Okay, so that's why I'm starting these rooms, and I have been talking about this concept first, and also the health consciousness, how people are more of health conscious these days, and they do a part of it, but not the comprehensive health care, which is attending to the diet and activity and sleep and rest, and also really calming our mind down. That's a biggie because we are in the information age and we allow our mind to run all the time. So I actively help people to get into systems of meditation. It could be from the minimal to advanced meditations we can talk about. So any pillar, those 4 pillars, the food, activity, sleep, and meditation, I talk about extensively. And many people have different needs because nobody is the same, right? Everybody is different. So we kind of take where they are and try to help them to get into the habit of this, and also realize some of the habits they may have, like overeating or undereating or eating only certain fat foods, like that. Okay, they can examine them, and then they can get out of them, because unlearning takes some time. It is 2 weeks, for example, and then keeping a habit continuously, that's also a problem, because the foods you want may not be available at the work or at the place you are living in, and you may not be accessible to good food rather than fast foods. So there are so many problems there. Okay, even the people who are at home, they are not in the habit of really making good food and then sitting down and eating it in peace, right? A lot of people eat in front of the TV, or they are eating on the hurry, or they may not even eat properly. So all these things are important. That's why I open these rooms so that people can come and ask me questions That way, we can always answer those questions. I usually invite people who are in my rooms to come up and talk to me, and I'm more than happy to engage them in any particular questions in this regard. Okay. If you look at our health system as a whole, it is costing us like anything. There was a message the other day from one of the doctors who was working from Texas about burner physicians and physicians having trouble with credentialing. So many physician problems, right? So I'm a burner coach myself. So we were talking about it, and the latest figures are $4.3 trillion is our health expenditure, which is way above than in many countries put together. And we are not really getting that much out of that kind of expense either, because our outcomes are not improving. Many of the chronic diseases are going on and taking away our quality of life and also longevity. People are not living that much. There was a recent figure that we lost 7 months this year. Last year we got 1.5 years. See, ever since I came to this country in the 80s, I've been seeing this longevity, like a lifespan, is increasing in America. It was going on from 68 to 74, 74, like that, right? But last year, for the first time, we have seen 1.5 year behind, and now it's 7 months. So part of it is the COVID, and the second part of it is this opioid crisis and the not improving the chronic diseases. You see, when I look at all these things, it's pretty alarming. When you look at from the inside the profession and see these numbers, and also the amount of scientific research, knowledge, and expertise, and the expense for the medical education, all that is enormous. But then there are competing industries like the food industry, like a travel industry, like a office furniture. All those industries are not really helping people to be healthy, right? To be well too. So I was at an international diabetic center in Minnesota. At one time, I went for a conference, and there was a diabetologist was presenting her thing. Her whole lecture was how these restaurants are selling all you can eat, big gulp. Either way, they are increasing the amount of calories people are eating, and also they are not really fortified with vitamins and essential minerals and all that, right? So we got to compete with the restaurants to really uncondition our patients. We teach the patients about a proper diet, but then the patients are influenced by these TV ads. And once you go to the restaurant, you don't have many choices except the processed food and that kind of thing. And they're ubiquitous all over, right? And they're there all the time. So people are having problems choosing good foods that they otherwise eat at home. You are traveling, you are going to work, and you don't have availability. That kind of lifestyle factors are a big deal. So we are trying to educate and bring the awareness to the general public, but the other industries are really looking to make their products go and make money out of that, and then sacrificing our health in the process. Okay. So we got to be really somebody who can choose these lifestyles. Food is only one of them, right? But other lifestyles also you have to be careful about not drinking, taking sleeping pills for the sleep, those kind of things. They may appear very non-glamorous, but they're very important lifestyles you got to attend. So if the health system is there, if your clinic is there, and they are really advising you, are really looking at all the lifestyles, and then maybe a nurse can call and see how your weight is every week, or you can report it, something like that. Okay, we have health coaches, but then health coaches also they need you to go there and approach. But what I am saying is, health system proactive, really preventative, really maintaining your health, have so many things that they can do. so that you are watched over. And we can do with the technology that we have now. People can take the blood pressure, and I can see that blood pressure recorded in my EMR, okay, electronic medical record. And that way, if you are going out of the number that you're supposed to be, I'll be warned of that. If it is too high, then I know whether you missed the medication or you did something to increase your blood pressure. So those kind of small monitoring of your vitals, of your weight, of your eating habits, working habits, or all those things are important to consider. And once you are given an annual physical, once you know the risk factors, once you are what you are doing, we can go ahead and then fix them before they become a real problem. Okay, that kind of thing. So basically, wellness I define as you have a good toned, fit body that is strong, that is flexible, and that has a lot of energy. And also, you have no tiredness. You can work a lot of hours, or you can enjoy whatever you do, and you can do fairly good amount of exercise to make keep your body active and free of disease. And you can sleep, you can have quality of sleep whereby your body and mind are revived. And you can also have a practice where you can calm your mind. And really, in this age of information, that's a very important part. Okay, so that's where I'm coming from. I want people to be health conscious, to be preventative, to be really aware of what's going on with their body and mind and in their lifestyles. And then also know about these things from a knowledge point of view. You can Google and all that, but that's not enough. Your own personal, what is your weight? How was it 10 years ago? How is it now? What's your waist circumstance? What is the arm circumstance? All those statistics that we maintain in the clinic, that should be with you, and you should be aware. It's very easy nowadays. You can do that on an watch, on any of the devices that we have there, on your phone. A number of things we can suggest you to how to record them and continue to monitor them, and also report to us automatically if they should go out of the range that we will. Suppose we say you should be I'm 5'8", right? So 5 feet plus 8, that's 100 plus 5 pounds per each inch. That's like a 40. So 140 to 160 is my range, And can I do that 140 to 160 pounds? And if it's going way above, like 180 or below 120, then I'm not in my regular range, right? Then that will be picked up in the emergency EMR, because you have taken the weight at home, but then that is transmitted to my EMR. Then I'll pick it up. Okay, you are out of range. That means there's something going on. That kind of, as you go each day, as you live your life, monitoring your essential vital statistics is very important. Not just the vital signs, but also vital statistics of your body and mind and activity and all that. So there are so many ways I can suggest that to people to be disciplined, to be conscious, and to be monitoring these health statistics and report to your physician or provider or whoever it is. And then they can take care of these things when they are very, very early. Okay? That's a commonsensical thing that we can do. But then how many people are really doing that? That's the question. See, if we see the numbers, we see many of the chronic diseases are not having good outcomes. That's a worrisome. And people go down with the chronic diseases where they don't have quality of life, and they may suffer from the morbidity and mortality. That's why we are concerned about. A lot of people are obese and they labor to work. A lot of people are really having a out of control blood sugar, and they have problems from head to toe. So that kind of people may have blood pressure not regulated. They can have a stroke and heart attack. Those kind of things. We call them target organ damage after allowing them to go. So people get annual check, then they may check 3 months, 6 month check, or when they are ill and sick, then they go to the provider. What I am saying is, how about having the in charge of your health status and then being on top of it rather than attending to it when the problem happens. Okay, that's why this room is. That's why I conduct daily, regularly, not daily, maybe weekly, probably. This is the only regular room I'm doing now. Otherwise, rest of the rooms I do are spontaneous because this Saturday evening I will be free. That's why I thought I will allocate some of my time to come here and be available for people if they should have any questions. Okay. So any questions people usually send me sometimes in the DMs in the back channel, which is okay. I answer them. But then I would like them to come here and talk. The Bhagat is here. Hi, Bhagat. How are you?
Hello, namaste, Dr. Rao. How are you?
Namaste, namaste. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Okay. Is that Aravindo that is there, or is it your photograph?
Yeah, it is Aravind Ghosh.
Yeah. I thought so. I'm a yogi. That's why I identified him right away. Um, so where are you from?
So I'm from Orissa, but I live in the US.
Okay, Odisha. Okay, very good. I'm also from Andhra Pradesh, but I live in here for the last 40 years. I've been here. So, but I like India's ancient wisdom quite much, and I spent a lot of time there. And I try to bring that into my medical care also, so that we combine modern medicine and ancient wisdom. And that's why I know Aurobindo, his work and all. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me, you have any questions or any comments?
I think we've spoken before, and I think I'm just curious how you practice, how you bring in holistic health, Ayurveda into your practice here in the US. What kind of activities do you perform?
Yeah. First of all, I live it, and also I have went and investigated the true, meaning of these practices. Kind of looked at in a scientific manner, and my understanding, because of the modern medicine and also ancient wisdom kind of deep study, they gave me a balance of how to use these things. For example, yoga, right? A person comes to me with a lot of problems, right? Somebody may have surgery, and then they have a knee surgery. I want them to do the physical therapy, but I also give him micro yoga, how he can really fortify his knee doing that micro yoga. Only that joint is attended, and then rest of the tones are okay. But then he will recover much faster than the just physical therapy only. I improve their posture, I improve their breathing, I improve a lot of things like that. So suppose somebody has high blood pressure, I teach them how to calm their mind, how to relax better. There's what's called relaxation response that was based on mantra yoga. And Herbert Benson, he's a Harvard cardiologist. He kind of made that mantra yoga system into what's called relaxation response institute. So he just tells them, go and sit in a corner room every day, at the same time, and sit down and close your eyes and just say one word, whatever that pleases you. That kind of thing also helps. So there are so many examples I can give according to the person, the body, and the disease and all that. I can really give them a customized program. Does that answer your question, Bhagat?
It does.
Yeah.
Would you also recommend Ayurvedic supplements in case you want?
Yeah, my understanding Ayurveda is based on consciousness, understanding different types of energies that we have in there, and according to the energies, we can be either they're out of whack, the doshas they call it, or they are really low or high. Right? Somebody has a rajasic thing, then our vata, that is the same thing, right? Vata energy. Then I can tell them, don't overthink, don't allow your mind to be stimulated and all that. So I don't really go for the herbs or the supplements, but then if they are doing that with a bona fide Ayurveda practitioner, I don't have problem. I may suggest to them what is good for them or not. Like some herbs are not good for the high blood pressure, for example. There is a PDR in uh, Germany. They have written one PDR for the herbal supplements, and I usually ask them to consult that to know about the problems they may have with their medications that they have, or they may have some side effects from it, that kind of thing. But basically, I kind of educate them what kind of foods they can eat, what kind of lifestyle they have, how they think, how they sleep, all the lifestyles are adjust according to the Ayurveda principles. And they do understand that. And then basically, I may make them do more yoga, more breathing and meditation, and also understand this type of. There is a dosha quiz that they can take online, and that will give them what kind of doshas they have, and then what is happening with them. We can figure out how what is out of whack. So it's basically, Ayurveda says when you are in homeostasis, you are in balance. But that is called the prakruti. But when you get it out of whack, they call it vikruti. To get it back, you got to understand your lifestyles and then attend to that. But I try to cut down the medications as much as possible, which was very successful career for me over the 20, 30 years. I kind of got a lot of people cut down the medications, the number of medications to dose, and some few people really are without any medication. I am like that too. I don't use any medications now. I'm 68, but I do yoga every day, and I also help them understand how to keep the mind silent. All those things are really helping me, and I don't push anything on anybody. But then we kind of struck a nice friendship with my patients. So I just want them to understand and do them slowly and steadily. And most of the time they have good effects. Then they know. I'm not pushing any religion on them, but I'm trying to tell them what, for example, they are not sleeping and they are going all over, they're drinking and all that. I would tell them frankly, this may be something you can cut down and you can change. And because I have the rapport with my patients, and they kind of cooperate, and then once they're seeing their own results, they kind of cooperate more, and then they go and tell other people, and that's how the things have spread. And then people come to me, they come with this understanding that he will give us what is needed, and also he will educate us, get us awareness, and then we can implement them. And then our thing is follow the patients all along, not only when they come. So that kind of monitoring people really appreciate.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
One more question. I have a family member with surgery, the spinal surgery, and loss of control on limbs, and almost not paralyzed yet, but basically it's a compression of the spinal cord. And the decompression surgery wasn't very successful. Would you have any suggestions?
Yeah, we do deal with a lot of back pain, and it all depends upon how much neurological damage was done, and also how long. You see, there's a stages of when the nerve is compressed. Initially, the muscles will be more toned and more easily amenable compared to if you leave them alone for 3-4 months like that, then the atrophy sets in. Those kind of things are very difficult. You cannot get back the nerve function as much, but the nerve targeting muscle groups and the joints, they can be strengthened and do that. So it depends upon where the injury status is. But a lot of people, we were able to get some of the function because, for example, somebody is not able to get up and stand, and we kind of gradations, right? We first make them with assistance, with maybe walker, and there are handy stick or something like that, and then we will give them set of exercises based on looking at them and determining what kind of loss of function is there. So it's not like a panacea for everybody, but it's not like everybody is out of that either. There's a lot of help they can have, but then they have to have the discipline, and they have to have a consistent, steady training, not straining, training. Give them small goals, let them get to see that. It all depends upon where the level of injury, whether it involves bladder or not, whether it involves sexual function or not. All those things we have to take into account, Bhagat. But generally, these injuries recover better if you understand how to give them yoga therapy also. You know.
Got it. It's an elderly woman, so
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be there, but then it all depends upon where their body anatomy and also functional status is, and what was the loss of function, how long they have had it. For example, somebody comes with a stroke in my clinic. I get to diagnose lots of times, right? A lot of I will be the first one who will be seeing them. And then if I diagnose somebody is having a stroke, I may do all the neurological workup, but at the same time, on the same day, I start physical therapy. And also, I tell the family, don't depend only on the physical therapy. You can learn from them, but then you do first passively with him, and then let him do the actively as soon as he can do it. That is what it is, initiating the therapy very early and really giving some intensity in that, not just half an hour a day, but several hours a day. That's very needed for the neurological damage. But it all depends on where suppose something like a complete necrosis happened and the area completely died. It's difficult, but then it can come back slowly down the line, because that's what we found out. There was a community in Arizona. These people come there and stay that big area of 500 people, I think. They stay there with agreement that they will donate their organs for the science after they die, right? And that's their voluntarily they determine that. So they live their life normally there, and but they're under the watch probably. And the one guy like that who had a stroke, I'm just giving a case example so that you will grasp what I'm talking about. So he had a complete paralysis on the left side. So therefore, they had a right-sided stroke, right? And then after a few months of training and all that, he recovered some of the function, and then he continued to live normally. And after 10 years, 15 years later, he died natural causes. Then they did autopsy on him and saw there was new brain growth around the place where he suffered the stroke. The area which died did not recover, but around it recovered because his peripheral exercises induced new brain formation. This is called neuroplasticity. You can create like that, you know. So, but then it's not like a panacea or one thing for everybody, but it is there, the phenomena. Nowadays, we have functional MRIs, then we can see much more on the neurological damage and the recovery by following the patient. So there's a lot happening now. Stem cell also is something that we are using in a way. So there's a lot of research going on with that spinal cord injury and all that, with the stem cell therapy and all that. So, but not everything is like a, okay, well, we know for sure this will go. It's like a depends upon the stroke, the area, the other things involved, and also motivation on the part of the patient, how much disciplined they are, what are the other coexisting problems like smoking, alcohol, or the chronic diseases, family history, so many things. But this is an effective physical therapy that is administered kind of intensely from the beginning would help a lot more. Make sense, Bhagat?
Got it. Very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I don't mind giving you, just a looking at them much more detail about mental. If it's away from my state, I cannot give a prescription of that, but I can be friendly, family like. I can look at the data and tell them more. Okay.
That would be great. So that would be very good. I'm taking your phone number down, and I'll bug you some other time. But this is very helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. A lot of people consult me like that. I'm very happy to do that. I don't do this kind of thing for money, but more like giving back, something like that.
Yeah. Any guidance, any suggestion you would give would be very helpful, because it is very hard to get good medical, in India. So right now, so
I know.
Thank you.
And when the COVID happened, I was online lots of times, really helping them, mainly with the two kinds of anxiety and the grief reaction. The second wave was terrible at that time, right? So they didn't have much help. So a bunch of doctors who used to go there and talk to them online from here, and then were able to do several things. So it felt like we were doing something for them.
Absolutely. What do you think the new COVID situation looks like from your perspective? The new
see
the vaccine and the
I was looking at it tonight in the evening. There is a new mutation happened in America now too. That's X0 XB 0.15 or something like that. See, what is happening is, when the virus happened, initially it is a novel virus. It was not there in our immune system at all. That's why it's a new virus for us. And it took some time to get the vaccinations and also to get the herd immunity. But then our approach to the virus with the politics, with people not taking vaccine and all that, we kind of did not do a proper job about just keeping ourselves away from people and really not stopping the spread of virus. And as we allowed the spread more, it kind of mutated, and it's going to continue to mutate because there is only partial population were really vaccinated. Rest of the other people, either they got the virus and succumbed, or they survived and then they have longer COVID, or they have these antibodies built for the virus that lasted only 6 to 8 months. So they had to give boosters. Now new mutations are happening because the stop of spread in different countries is different, and that is not good for us. So this is something like a flu. The virus is going to be there, but we may gain the herd immunity. It may not be that big deal. But then this virus is something that's novel, and it's going to be there for some years. Which mutation is going to be deadly or lethal or more problems of producing, we don't know. Current X 0.18 or something like that, that is very brand new, but this is a very highly infective. That means it can infect people very rapidly and in large numbers too. But will it lead to bad effects? We are not sure yet. So we'll see.
What are your thoughts on the controversy about the vaccine, especially the booster shot?
Yeah, I mean, if we take the statistics, the way we look at any of the drugs or any of these vaccines is how many people are benefited. That means they were not going to die, they are not into the ICUs, and then they are taken away from the home and they did not suffer that much. That kind of statistics we see. If you look at it, this is a very remarkable vaccine. Very short time they did, but then what's the vaccine in India compared to Russia, China, and the United States or Europe? That's a large differences there. India vaccine is better than the ones in Russia and China, but whereas the vaccines in the United States are very good, Moderna, Pfizer. So they are very good too. But Indian vaccines are also not bad at all. Okay, if not that effective, they are better than Russian and also Chinese. That's one thing we suspect. Chinese spread was so much, but then that can jump to other countries because of our international travel, right? See, they were protesting the Chinese now because we're not allowing people to come in without a negative test, and they said we're going to do the same thing to other people too. So because they are not forthcoming lots of times, we cannot trust them. That's why they have to take these steps also. So vaccine, political thing is there, cultural thing is there, and some of the vaccine shots that are not the same things, the same Moderna, they can produce a very bad reaction sometimes, and that can happen only a few people. And there was so much of misinformation about that too. Like, for example, me, I got the booster a couple of weeks ago, and the first two boosters I got did not bother me. But now this booster really produced intense pain and swelling at the local area where they gave the vaccine. I just put up with it a couple of days and everything. If your immune system is pretty good, you can react like that. You see, that's also there. So lots of times that is there, but just because of the vaccine, this is not like a deadly thing like other people are making it. But the way that was produced, the vaccine is a very quick and new technology too. So long-term side effects and all that, we will have to wait and study the whole thing in the long run. So that's the same with any other drugs too. But this was produced at a time without the vaccine, we would have lost a lot more people. There's no doubt about it. But with the vaccine also, we weren't very smart as a human people all over the world. We weren't very smart about stopping the spread. I think that's where I think politics and all this misinformation really did help us. And also, this vaccine was a result of cooperation among all scientists around the world. For the first time, the data was shared at the same time to all the scientist groups in the several countries. That's remarkable, because before it used to be like you had test in one area, and then all the information was sent to the other ones. So it took some time. But now with our internet and data exchange methods and all those things are very, very good. And then they were able to do that. I was very pleased because I've been watching these vaccines, epidemics, and all that since 1980. When I first came to this country in 1981, HIV was just breaking. We didn't know anything about HIV at the time, and people are dying. I saw a patient in New York at 6 o'clock in the evening, and he came walking into the emergency room, but he had a full of PCP pneumonia of his lung, and he died by 9 o'clock. We could hardly do anything for him. That's how quickly they used to die. So it's a terrifying thing for people and other healthcare workers also. But then we developed systems so that we can detect the breakdown of these viruses or bacteria in the far corners of the world, and they were able to send people from WHO or CDC and quarantine that village and prevent the spread. But now people have become more, and international travel has become more, and that's why people are spreading this much faster. So that's what's happening. So Shraddha is here. Hi, Shraddha.
Namaste, Dr. Rao. Namaste, Bhagaji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Shraddha. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I am great. I have no problem. I just come here to increase the consciousness of our health status. That's right.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like now, like they have come up with this second booster, right? And
Yeah.
most of the people are taking also the second booster. So, what do you think about like taking this booster shot?
Yeah, like I was just telling you, I took the booster shot myself because our immunity is not good, modern people immunity, because so many factors are there that decrease our immunity, and we lose that capacity to fight the new viruses like this. And we have seen too many people die or suffer from the. So we recommend you boost up your antibodies by taking the vaccine boosters, especially if you are older, if you have underlying conditions, if you are a smoker, if you are obese. So many factors are there like that, autoimmune disorders, or diabetes, or any chronic diseases that you could have. We strongly recommend them. Advanced age also, anybody over 75 or anybody over 65 with underlying diseases, we are giving them test to protect them, because modern life has produced us lose our immunity, even in India also, and there's some kind of herd immunity for the older strains of this virus, but the current strains that are having, they don't have the antibodies for that. Even some of the boosters also don't have that, but it is better to take it, at least partial help is there. I think India has gained some herd immunity, and that's why they are not really having such a major problem, even though the dense population it was there, and they were able to handle that better. But generally, as a physician, I would recommend to take the booster dose, especially if you have these other problems, obesity, or smoking, or underlying conditions, diabetes, COPD, heart disease, and all that.
Like for me, I mean, as far as I know, I don't have any of these issues, and I'm not obese either, and I don't think so that I'm old also.
Yeah.
So that's why I was thinking, and first two vaccines were okay for me, but after the booster, I felt that in fact my immunity went back low, and then I had lots of other issues after that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm scared of taking next booster.
Yeah. I mean, that reaction I saw with my own body, I saw that reaction. But then immune system is good. You can respond like that also. That is there. But then another thing is, do you have a chance of getting exposed to, that means you have a risk of exposed to people who are working with you, or you are going through people that they may have it, like I'm a doctor.
That's what, like right now, like I was working from home only. I didn't go back to like public places as such. Like I only go outside, like only for groceries once a week or so. In fact, less than that. Apart from that, I just go out for walks and all. And the US walking and all, it's not like you are going into a place where there are lots of crowd or something.
Yeah.
But I might be traveling to India, so that's why I'm thinking whether I should take this booster or not.
Yeah, you watch this new booster, not new strain that has broken now, which is very easily infectable. A lot of people are infected easily, but will they have serious side effects? We don't know how it will behave in terms of putting them in the hospital, in the ICU, and putting them in danger of losing their life. All those studies will come after a while. So at this time, this particular strain here, I think that is going there in India also probably, and that is maybe you can have mask and you can avoid social contact and all those things. So you have to really do that. But then if you are young, your immune system is pretty good, you can have a severe reaction. That means you are building up a lot of antibodies. As long as they don't make you sick enough for a couple of days, you have pain, swelling, and all that, you can put up with it. But if you have other issues, then you get to weigh whether you are not going to be exposed to anything like this. Then you may want to not to take it. But generally, as a physician, I recommend people to take the booster shots if they are available.
Yeah, I was little confused whether to take it or not, because like a couple of my friends who are traveling like next week or so, so they all took the shots, and then I might be traveling in February, and then so I was like, I don't want to take another shot. Like I'm done with all these things. Like
keep a watch, Shraddha, or you can come to my rooms because I follow. Because I'm a physician, I feel it's my duty to know what's going on in the field, right? So I have a system where I follow all over the world where things are breaking down, what kind of problems and all that. Okay,
I mean, the only thing I'm scared about is the thing is that this new virus.
That
because we don't come to know how bad the things are. I mean, by the time we come to know, it's already very late.
I know.
So that's why I'm a little scared that whether what I'm doing is right or wrong.
No, keep looking at my postings and all. If you cannot make it, a lot of people don't make it to a room because lots of times I just do them spontaneously too. But they come and listen to them because I keep the replays on. You can always go and see that. And like I know about this new strain X.018 or something like that. Today evening there was a bulletin and I know about it. So we have a way of following this whole thing, right? So that is one thing. Other thing is I have a routine in yoga about how you can improve your immunity by increasing your lymph flow in the body. See, there are lymph nodes from head to toe. So you may want to look at that in my Instagram postings or.
So you've already posted that thing on Insta?
I think a long time ago, not now, because I'm not posting much in Insta now, but I have a wellness club in the morning and in the evening. I make my students do that, so that's, you can visit one time and look at it and then go and practice it. It's actually from head to toe, I make them do certain steps with there are around the head, you have lymph nodes. And in the neck, around the neck, you have lymph nodes in front of the ear, behind the ear, and you have in the clavicular area, and the axilla, in the groin, in the lower, and also your calf muscles are very important to pump the lymph from bottom to up. So BK Iyengar, that famous yoga teacher. I'm a big I've been following him since 1985. And I have studied him completely, and he was a very good yoga transition from just physical to really what is yoga. A lot of people don't understand what is really yoga, but then you have to keep the body and mind healthy to really know how to from your local consciousness to universal consciousness and all that. Right? But what he did was in Kanpur, 1918, when they have this influenza outbreak at the time, several people had that in Pune, and that was one of the epicenter. Many cases happened in Pune, but BK Iyengar's ashram, there were some a few hundred people there. None of them got it because he had a routine of exercises and breathing, which helped them also to develop this not only very efficient lungs, but also resistance in the body because you develop more antibodies, and this flow of lymph node was enhanced. So somebody sent me, I don't know where they got it, but somebody sent me because they know how much I value yoga and how much I teach people. And that was...
when you say to come to the wellness club, so where is it exactly? Like I'm in those...
I have a yoga studio in my basement, and so I do it on the Zoom, so
I would like to come. Can you send me the information for it?
Yeah, I think the team has something like a subscription, but then you send me for one class. I think you can come, but if you want to come the whole month, they may have something nominal fee. But I can send you one day like a in the morning.
Guest pass, something kind of.
Yeah, so you can just come as a guest and then learn that and then go. I think that's easy.
Sure. I would like to learn. I don't think so I'll be able to do it every day. Like come to the classes every day.
No. Just learn.
Yeah, I would like to come and learn for sure.
Shraddha, that is recorded too. You can do with me and access the tape and then use the tape whenever you want.
Oh, okay. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, although I'll remember because I'm into the field, so I mean, like if I do once, I'll remember whatever.
It's not a big deal. You can easily remember. But if you want to record just to inspire you, you can take it. So usually people tell me this, and then they can send me a back channel. Oh, I forgot. What did you say? That kind of. So I kind of allow them to keep the tape so that they can do that quite. I have a lot of respect to yoga, Shraddha, and it has to be done properly. Then you'll get the maximum effect on the body or mind or your, inner soul and all that. So,
right. Yeah. I don't know if I told you or not, but I'm pursuing my master's in yoga.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's good. Then you can come sit down and talk to me at depth. Then you'll have much better progress. I can assure you that.
Yeah. Definitely, I would love to do that.
You know how long I've been studying yoga in depth, not only just as a student, but as a intense practitioner since 1985.
Oh wow, that's long back.
Yeah. And I have so many programs for my doctors, because what I do is I designed programs for them according to their work they do, according to the work routine they do also, because somebody is doing a lot of sitting. I teach them chair yoga, that is office yoga. Somebody is in the call room, like I do in the call room. I don't come and relax and like that, but I come and really relax with my stretches and breathing and my present focus. So I teach them to be in awareness, to be in the present, to be using the deep breathing. Several exercises are there. If you do that, then you can have the natural resistance that will be fighting the virus anyway. Not only this, any other. I am 68. I don't use any medication. I haven't really consulted anybody as a doctor for about maybe 7-8 years now. So,
Alex, I mean, I haven't taken any pills or consulted any doctor since like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And just but few days back, I took one pill because I traveled to West Coast. Like I went to San Diego and Vegas, and then I got cold while coming back. So I was like, I mean, everybody told me that don't defer, just take something because I was taking garlic. Garlic is something which works for me.
Okay.
So
you can take the medication if you need them once in a while. I'm not against them because I prescribe.
So the thing is, normally people take the Stananol the night time, and they're okay in the morning. Like they don't get hangover or anything. They're okay in the morning to work or do anything.
Yeah.
I had hangover next whole day.
Yeah.
I felt like I should sleep.
Yeah.
So I was like, gosh, like these medicines are so strong. Like if you don't take it, then your body knows how strong it is.
You see, usually people don't know how to take care of their body. So they may be under somebody's guidance as a physician. You always have to work with them because they know your health history and all of that. So I'm not against the medications, but I'm saying, come on, help your body to be resilient, to be strong, so that it can take care of itself. It has an intelligence. I think people forget about that and then allow it to be ill and then take all these medications and all that. That's what I'm trying to do.
The thing is, like, people keep ignoring their body and they just want some fast method to get rid of whatever the problems are.
Exactly.
So that is not they don't actually fix the problem, but temporarily they feel that problem is not there.
Yeah. Shraddha, I was working with the Indian universities. Some of them called me about, some health things and all the wellness things which they know. And actually, I kind of joined a big organization that's working in India. They have a big organization here in California. They just got in touch with me. And then they also have it in Rajasthan, Jaipur, I think, based there. They want me to come and talk to some universities, which I'm going to do. But what I found was very surprising was a lot of these ancient principles I learned, I understood, and I investigated. because you got to know the Sanskrit, you got to know the deeper meanings and all that, right? And then it requires real dedication and discipline study, right? So, but I have a lot of respect for that, but rishis, right? And unfortunately, modern India has not adopted them as much as they should. They should take care of that, Like, for example, Aurobindo, he wrote a renaissance of India at the time of just independence happened, and they wanted us to go towards the ancient wisdom. But then the people, maybe people like Nehru and other people, they went the Western way. And that was a mistake. Even now, we should go back to that and then combine the best of that system and best of modern system. That's what I do with my BA company.
Right, and even our Shastras teach us, right, that you should be balanced, kind of. It's not like...
Yeah, but they just say our Shastras do it, but they don't really show me in their lifestyles. That's what I'm talking about. See, they may say, oh, we are so proud of her, but then what are you proud of? What is that you are doing in your life? Like, for example, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. They don't know what they are. They have to, Nididhyasana is where you really implement the truth. But first listen, then investigate, and have all the doubts cleared. That's the Mananam. And then once you have found for yourself the truth, make sure the truth is allowed in your life. And that is the one I'm talking about. I think they may do it. And some of my friends, I'm an informatician, right? We gather data. Some of the people on Ayurveda, they are collecting data in India, and that's going to be published. And that data will probably help us to understand better at a local, at a common level, So we'll see.
Nice. No, I mean, I agree. But nowadays, like back in India, also, like people are becoming more aware of lots of things.
Yeah.
But it will definitely take time.
Yeah. No, they were polluted by this Western weaknesses, I call. I'm in America, but I don't go for these Western weaknesses. But I embrace their strengths, like a punctuality, like a professionalism, like being a good citizen, good neighbor. All those things are very good values of American freedom and all that. But then I don't want to go and drink in a bar and smoke and I never took any drugs anyway, And also I get up in the morning and I do a lot of things at the Brahma Muhurta. I know what is Brahman and all that. So those things are very valuable things for anybody. If they cannot go that depth, at least they can do some small things, like eating at home and preparing. See, there is something what's called sattvic proudness. Our people are so great in the bad, but then we're not going to know what they are talking about. And even if you know it, we are not going to implement them. We will be like Westerns doing the beer or something. That is what the tragedy I always talk about.
And the thing is, people don't understand. Yeah. They just have to take only the good things.
Yeah.
They don't understand. And there's a very fine line also. So
very fine line.
To please others, sometimes they end up doing wrong things also.
I think they are not aware they are doing that either, because they just want to be amicable, friendly, and adjust, and then
right, just to feel comfortable in the society, they start doing wrong things.
Yeah. See, now I'm doing Bhagavad Gita, one chapter a day. Like we have this recordings of the work. We do that, and also we have this book that explains each letter of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Each letter. But how I do it? I got my sister in Secunderabad, and here some people, and then we all together go through that early morning exercise with me every day.
Wow, that's very nice.
Yeah, and we are doing it.
Everybody should do such things.
Yeah, Ramana Maharshi.
Yeah.
He compiled 42 poems from Bhagavad Gita. Somebody from Andhra, he came to Ramana Maharshi, has been knowing him for a while. Then he asked him, Swami, these 700 poems I am not able to read because of the job and other. Could you tell me what is important? Then I could. Then he compiled in his own writing. He wrote it. That's also I have it. He wrote it 42 poems altogether. The first one start with he spoke to the person who is sorrow. That's Arjuna Vishad Yoga in one poem, right? Then he goes into. But then these 42 are not according to the chapters, but according to Ramana Maharshi, what he considered, and then he put that together. That is very helpful to understand not only what Ramana Maharshi is talking about.
That's in what language?
He wrote in several languages. English also there, and Sanskrit, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and then he wrote it. He wrote a beautiful English, Ramana Maharshi. And then, the final point about that is, then this person comes out with 42 also too much. Can you tell me one thing that I can? Then he quotes chapter 10, verse 20. Okay? Verse 20.
20.
Okay. Yeah, that is where he says, Hey Gunakesha, I am the one who is the beginning, middle, end of all living beings. Kshetragna. Okay, that's what he talks about. And that he said, that's the most important according to Ramana Maharshi.
Okay, I was just trying to open that shloka.
Yeah.
What it is 20 you said, right? 10.20.
Yeah, 10.20.
Oh, Ahamatma Gudakesha, Sarva Bhutash Yasthitava.
Yeah.
Ahamadishya Badhyancha, Bhutanamanta Evacha.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, Arjuna, I am seated in the heart of all living entities. I am the beginning, middle, and end of all beings.
Yeah. And Ramana Maharshi's meditation is the Manonasha, right? In the Manonasha, there is a self-inquiry and not brain exercises. It is about attention to that self, that bigger self. I have a quotation. I kind of did it on my iPad for a long time. That says, one's attention has to be poised. One's attention always has to be poised on one's inner self. That means you kind of nirodha of the thought, and then your attention is on the Atman, Atmanishta. And that is where the Manonasha things come. It is completely different than Mano Laila, which is regular, everybody does the projection of the mind. Anyway, I don't want to go too many esoteric things anyway. But I know, Shraddha, you are interested in Bhagavad Gita, right? That's why I'm mentioning that to you. Actually, the Bhagavad Gita cannot be said like, I read it and this is it. It has to be read till the last breath, I believe.
It's like, it's never-ending thing.
Yeah. I think it is a wonderful, it's a summary of Upanishads, So it's a kind of a very good thing. So I think Kumar is there.
You at all levels. So that is the best thing.
Yeah. He's, I think whether he wants to ask me anything before I close, it's already 1 hour. We have done that. So, Bhagat, you have any other questions you want me to talk answer?
No, sir, I'm good. I was just enjoying the discussion.
Okay. Yeah, I know Shraddha conducts the Bhagavad Gita every day. That's why I'm kind of opening up some things for her. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I just saw you talking about vaccines and I just jumped in because I had this question about vaccines and I was like, you'll be the best person to help me answer this question.
Yeah, a lot of people send me the back channel messages, either here or LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I think, best, so I kind of take it on myself to be reading about this and then communicating back. Just like a good physician, that's all. So.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. And thank you, Bhagatji, for coming to the speakers panel today. So I hope to see you more of it.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, I will close the room now because it's 8 to 9. It's supposed to be. I think it's already past 9. So I'll talk to you again later. Shraddha, you reach out to me. Bhagat, you also wanted to reach out on something. So
I will do that.
Yeah,
I'll
be happy.
Yeah, even I will back channel you the details. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Bye bye.